estimates, there's modeling estimates of how much the price on carbon will reduce greenhouse gas emissions. My understanding, and maybe I'm wrong, is that there is no data specifically stating that the price on carbon resulted in an X amount of reduction in greenhouse gas emissions, and I don't even think that's possible, quite frankly.
Let's have a listen to Justin Trudeau and other Liberal MPs contradict what he is saying. So there are experts saying that it's impossible to track how many greenhouse gases will be lowered from the carbon tax. And there's going to be someone at the end of this video who loves Trudeau, finds many things wrong with them, but loves Trudeau still and will still vote for him and loves the carbon tax because it's working great. And also, I'm going to give a solution. I know exactly how to hit the Paris targets. It's so crystal clear, and Trudeau hates it to the bone. Let's have a listen of Trudeau talking about the carbon tax and how amazing it is, because there's a bit of a confusion of why he keeps saying that. So let's have a listen.
This balance has allowed us to reduce greenhouse gas emissions for the first time in Canadian history. We are reaching our Paris Agreement and Glasgow Agreement targets. We will continue to show leadership and responsibility by creating economic growth for everyone.
Well, they are not hitting the target ever. They never even come close. They never even come to fraction of it in the last 30 years. And I'm saying 30 years because that's when they actually started doing it, because that means they have never in the entire history of the world have ever come close to any target. Nobody has. And they keep changing it a lot too. Let's have a listen to Stephen Guilbeault at his input on the carbon tax and greenhouse gas, that relationship, because there's always a bit of a confusion with this. Let's have a listen.
This gives me the opportunity to talk about the fact that our carbon tax is one of the most effective in the world because it will reduce greenhouse gases, which went down by 9%, unlike what we heard on the other side of this House. And 100% of revenues generated by the carbon tax are returned to the provinces. 90% of households and 10% of municipalities and Indigenous communities.
I don't even get it with the municipality. 90% of municipalities and Indigenous, they have to throw every word in there as possible. It's false. What he's saying is false. He's saying 9% greenhouse gas reduction in 2020. And I know everyone knows what happened in 2020. He is looking at a chart and flat out lying. And I don't know, disinformation, or whatever. I don't care. This is a flat out lie that he is doing. Let's also have a listen to one more guy. It's going to be a very quick one. And then I'll go through what the solution is to all of this. There is a solution that will hit the Paris target. Everything is so easy. And also that guy at the end that talks about how he loves Trudeau, but he hates Trudeau, but loves it and will vote for him again. There you go. It's a typical liberal thing. Let's have a listen.
We've already got a 9% reduction in emissions in 2020.
That's Randy. Randy always reminds me of a very pushy car salesman. Tough. But I know that's not really true. But anyway, let's have a look here at the countries that want to give Canada money to help the environment. And Trudeau is saying no. He doesn't want to do it. So Greece, Germany, and Japan also, all of them expressed interest in buying LNG, liquefied natural gas. Canada has the third biggest reserve in the world. He won't do it. So what is the use case for this? This is, for example, Japan, Germany, Greece at the bottom, they burn coal and that produces greenhouse gases. That's how they do it. That's how they get their energy. What they want to do is use the liquefied natural gas from Canada and it'll reduce the greenhouse gases by half or more than half. It's going to be less greenhouse gases. That difference will more than offset whatever Canada does. And I'm not even talking about the trees in Canada that produce 25 acres per person of oxygen that gets put in the air. So the CO2 gets scrubbed in the trees and gets released as oxygen. Canada is carbon neutral already if they looked at the data, just because of the land mass. It's the second biggest country in the world. That's really why. So that's how you fix the problem. And also, let's have a look here about what also could be done in this situation. Let's have a look at this. And once again, we've always seen 1.5% of greenhouse gases globally come from Canada. Here they say it's a decrease from 1.8 in 2005. Wow. Woo! Congratulations. That's great. Why do they pick 2005? And not only that, like if they pick 2010 or a different time or 2013, then all of a sudden that 1.5 won't look the same or actually get worse. And also, when you look at a percentage, if China adds a coal plant a week and keeps growing, and Canada keeps bringing in 1 million people a year, Canada produces greenhouse gases. So does China. It's like, it's hard. You shouldn't say that. It's like per capita, how much carbon footprint everyone looks or produces what they should do. And also, if we're going to start taking credit for Japan, Germany, and Greece reducing their greenhouse gases, then we have to look at Saudi Arabia. These guys are rich AF, money galore. They're building that beautiful, whatever, line in the desert. Big money. Why? All the gas and oil that they ship all over the world, why don't they charge that to the Saudi Arabia, to the country? Like they bring oil from their country to Germany, to Japan, all over the world in Europe. They burn it. And how come they're not getting the greenhouse gases added onto them? Because all of a sudden it would look different. And also a funny thing too, Saudi Arabia and Twitter, the prince in Saudi Arabia used to own it. So it was actually very convenient to distort the truth and push narratives in other countries when you own the narrative. So that's really good that Elon Musk took that over. Let's have a look now at this liberal let's have a look at what he says, but it's interesting what mindset of
Have any opinions about the Trudeau government going into another term?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not his biggest fan. He's done a couple of things over the last term that I have not agreed with politically, but I still think he's probably the best. And I'd be happy to see him do another 4 years, to be honest. I think he's doing great things with the environment. I think the carbon tax is a really good thing. I'm sure you're alluding to that, and lots of people are talking about that right now. I think what the political analysts and what the economists are saying about the benefits of the carbon tax are far more important to people's actual pocketbooks than what the rhetoric is going around. And that there's cost of living, there's 10 other cost of living things that we should be addressing as the general populace before we start saying things like axe the tax and trying to overthrow the federal government. They're doing their best to keep us responsible for the environment, and we know it is proven that the carbon tax is actually making a difference for that. It works here in BC, it's worked in other places in the world, and I think it's ridiculous that people are ganging up against him and saying that it's not working, because it actually is. But anyway, I mean, he's not perfect. No prime minister is perfect, but I think he's doing better than a lot of other predecessors have, and I agree with his economic policies and I agree with his environmental policies, and that's what I vote on.
Have any?
Well, it's proven. The analysts have proven it. I've never seen any analyst that has actually proven anything. They usually refer to a website that is government funded of words that just have some numbers on it, but no backup of it at all. And even this, too, we'll go through and have a look at this. Catherine McKenna in 2019 knew that 8 out of 10 families would do better with the carbon tax. So how did she know that? And why is that rhetoric used for 6 years when the report wasn't even made? Let's have a look at that, too. There's the tweet from Catherine McKenna. Climate change is real. The science is proven, but I haven't seen any science. And it requires real solutions. Well, it does. It's a fact that pricing pollution is the most cost-effective way to cut pollution. So now they're saying pollution. Is it greenhouse gases or pollution? Because Canada has always reduced pollution. Our plan will also leave 8 out of 10 families better off. There you go. So how come in 2019, Catherine McKenna, on a report that no data ever was behind it. This was the selling point to vote for a liberal. This is what you're looking at. This is why you should vote for them. They keep saying 8 out of 10 will get better. Don't worry about all this stuff. And, it's been 5 years after, and the report from the privacy, the report from the special report from the government says that it's not true. 8 out of 10 do better, but then they don't look at the economic forecast buried in there, which is the actual opposite. 8 out of 10 do a lot worse. The only people that do benefit make under $40,000, which at the end of the day, We're talking a whole other ballgame to live in Canada when making that kind of money, because you can't do it with the taxes that Trudeau keeps increasing. So anyway, hope you liked it. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. See you in the next video. Best of goodbyes. Thanks for tuning in to Canada-wide news. Hold up, before you dash off. A little birdie tells me many of you are ghosting around here without joining the subscriber crew. Given Trudeau's keen interest in making the internet his own sandbox, hitting that subscribe